Morning. It's a whopping 18 degrees. So we were out here, a week ago. And it was muddy. And I was trying to dump some dirt here to soak up some of that mud and just make it not quite such a muddy mess right here. And I had lakes and mud and everything else. And, I don't have any of that now. Kind of a tough weekend. Came out here with the intent to fix the mill. Drove through a blizzard to get here at night. And I don't know about you, but I'm not quite 59 years old yet. And folks, driving in a blizzard at night in the dark, even with good headlights, it's tough. Drop a comment down below. Let me know. Do you have the same problem? You get older and then you can't see anymore. Or you just don't see like you did at night, you know? You're not 30 anymore. 30 years old, you go driving through blizzards in the middle of the night with poor headlights, you know, back in the days when we had the seal beam lights. And it was no big deal. It was just an adventure. Now, you're like, oh, hell no. I'm done with this. Oh, back's a little bit aggravated today. I came up to see if we had any critters come through, which we did. Deer. So walked right past that game camera. But I'm going to leave that camera for next time because I didn't bring my adapter. First world problems, folks. I didn't bring an adapter so I could show you what was coming through the game camera. So next trip, which will be 2 weeks from now, you'll get you'll get 3 weeks worth of game camera video. Maybe there'll be something worthwhile on there to show you besides just deer and horses. It's definitely chilly, but it's beautiful. As you can see up on the roof, those solar panels on the roof did not slough the snow off. So those aren't going to be producing power, folks. Although, I have to admit, I've seen them produce power when they were covered in snow. So maybe they are. I don't have my trimetric meter hooked up yet, so I need about 5 or 6 more feet of cable for it, or I need to move my system a little bit. Right now, I'm going to leave it where it is. I've got a friend who is an electrician for years, and his dad was an electrician, and he's also one of those people that does really nice work. He's planning on coming out and helping me fix my wiring. But, so I don't know what they're doing. But I'm not too worried because, as I said in one of my previous videos, those panels at 63 degrees sloughed the snow off just fine. So the ones up there, not producing power probably, or much if any. These will, they're obviously probably trickle charging now. The sun's not over the trees yet. It's just, and I'm not looking in my camera view, so bear with me. But if you see the top of the trees, then down below is where the sun is. So it's another hour before it comes up through the trees. Now that big fir that's directly ahead of me, right behind my auger and my bucket for my tractor, that's one that will be coming down, which actually will help a little bit. And that's going to get thinned out in there, so that'll help too. And then a lot of the stuff that's on this hill here will come down, as well as this stuff here. The idea being, 1, to protect the property here from forest fire, 2, to produce solar power, 3, to help with beetles problems. So there's a number of good reasons for it. I mean, some might think, hey, you're killing your forest. But in reality, not really. Looking up the hill, you probably can't see it, but I see a big probably dead fir laying on the ground up there. We've got something that started to periodically attack the fir trees. So I really got to get them thinned out to protect them. Looks beautiful though, doesn't it? 18 degrees. Cabin's cozy warm. We're getting ready to go. Now, some of you may have noticed the fuel cans on the back of Darcy's Jeep, and you've seen them on my Jeep before. You're probably wondering, why are you carrying those? It looks cool, right? No. Actually, one of the reasons is because on the last trip out here in my Jeep, we got into a windstorm. And the way my Jeep is set up, it really doesn't get great mileage. I can usually maybe get 16.5 miles to the gallon, unless I do like 60. 55, 60, I can get 18.5 maybe. Darcy's Jeep can actually get around 20, 21 at 60 miles an hour, which is odd because it's a heavier, longer Jeep than mine, but it doesn't have the roof rack or the light up top. And I think because of that, it actually just gets a little better mileage. It may be, it's geared differently too. It's an automatic, so the gearing could have something to do with it. But the reason why I have those cans and 5 gallons of fuel in them is because when we were driving back this last trip, we're getting into this heavy windstorm coming straight on, and my mileage dropped to below 12 miles to the gallon, and I was down to like maybe 20 miles left. According to the trip computer, you know, it tells you how many miles you got left to the tank of gas, basically, until we got to a gas station where I could drop 20 bucks in the tank and keep going. And it was an expensive gas station, which is why I only put 20 bucks in. I'm cheap, I guess. But, you know, I was like, I'm not paying $4 a gallon here for a full tank when I can just drop 20 bucks in and then, you know, drive the next 10 miles and fill it up on $3.50 a gallon or whatever. And so, yeah, it was touch and go, and I didn't have the fuel cans that trip. I was like, I don't need them. I'm not going to take them. So that's why. There are always challenges when you have property like this that's more than 20 miles from the nearest town. There's a little kind of general store type place that's only about 4 or 5 miles away, and they do have fuel. But they don't have, for example, the pulley for the alternator on the mill, right? And when building the cabin originally, I would come out here with everything I thought I needed, and then I would discover I didn't have something. And I would have to go at minimum that 25 miles or whatever to the nearest town that had a hardware store. It had 2 of them, to try to find what I needed. And then sometimes they wouldn't have it, and I'd have to drive another 25 miles to the next town to where they had a bigger, you know, big box department type hardware store that I could buy what I needed. The sun's starting to peak, folks. You can see it really, really bright between those trees right there. Look at that. It's coming up right up there, and it'll actually come up this way. So some of these trees will get thinned out too. So anyway, yeah, I'd come out here, trailer load of stuff behind my other Jeep, and I had an older XJ Cherokee. And you know, I'd get all the way up here, we'd get building, and then I'd find out I didn't have something. So I'd have to turn around and run all the way into town just so that, you know, that I could get whatever it was we needed and get back out here. And I would lose, you know, 2 hours in driving time alone sometimes. That's just part of being out here in the middle of nowhere. But we love it out here. It's just you have to understand that there's challenges that you're going to face. I thought I'd show you guys some of the upgrades in the cabin that Darcy did this weekend. She did some pretty cool work, so I'll bring that to you too. All right, she put those magnetic shelves on that fridge there. And you know, folks, I have to tell you, Darcy, well, she is the homemaker. I don't think anybody doubts that when it comes to knowing me. But she really does, you know, get in here and try to organize things and just try to make things a little better for when we're out there. When I was building the cabin, I was thinking about trying to build cabinets, and she said, no, you don't. She wanted me to pick up something at Home Depot and bring it out there, and that's what I did, folks. But it gave her a kitchen, and I like having it too, don't get me wrong. That little frying pan my granddaughter gave me is kind of cool. Everything, you know, I mean, I go out to the cabin, folks, I make a big mess. That's what I do. I'm a bull in a china shop. I do try to keep it reasonably clean, and I'll put up things like those hooks right there and whatnot. But Darcy, she's the one that's going to organize things. She's going to put the racks in. She's going to decide, okay, we don't really need this anymore. And after all these years, we're talking 15 years, we've accumulated a lot of stuff, and it tends to kind of build up after a while. And so she gets in there and says, okay, that's it. It's time to get this sorted out, get it organized, make it so that, you know, it's as comfortable as it can be. Now, this is a very small cabin, folks. You know, you could call it a tiny home, but we don't live there, though I used to. But it's only 14 feet wide by 28 feet long, so it's pretty small. But she gets in there and she likes to do her decorating. And hey, I'll admit it, I like it. She put in some new rugs, a new shower curtain, and that tub right there, folks, I pulled that out of the original home. It was put in something like 1903 or 1913. She likes her little bear, guys. Nature's calling. Our bathroom uses a composting toilet. It works pretty good, by the way, folks. Now she brought out this this box here that she assembled. A little cussing and swearing on her part, but she did get it assembled. That's for the kindling, because I used to just kind of throw it over there by the wood. And then I built this cabinet you may have seen in a previous video, but she's got it organized now, so that's a little better. I still have some work to do there. But folks, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hey, do me a favor. Hit the thumbs up for me. Give me a like on this video. I really appreciate it. I'll be sure to drop another video for you to check out here. Y'all have a great day, folks. The Old Jarhead out.